ice. 1.5 feet thick. 1 mile long. A cold, hard challenge for men and machines. Scarborough Downs Racetrack, Portland, Maine. About to be invaded by a team gunning for a world record. The team is armed for the assault on the record with Kawasaki's latest entry in the world of speed and endurance, Invader 440s. At 10 a.m., February 1st, 1978, the plan goes into operation. The mission? To race these bullet-fast sleds for 24 hours, and in the process, go farther than any team in history. The machines are prepped and the track is groomed. Ron Sluka, the project organizer, assembles the mechanics and drivers for a final briefing.
We'll explain to you that these pylons here are the ones that you'll come into the pit on later today. Any mechanical work will be done in front here. Gas stops will be down over there.
The team is a cross-section of American and Canadian snowmobile enthusiasts, professional racers, test drivers, magazine writers, distributors, and executives united in an effort to set a world standard for snowmobile speed and endurance. They will drive for 24 hours in shifts of 1 hour per driver, with 5 drivers for each of the 2 sleds. A new record is the goal, but not at the expense of life and limb. Ron lays down firm guidelines for driver safety.
There's some bad snowbanks out there. We tried to cut them down. We worked on it this morning, but it still isn't perfect. But we hope it's good enough. It's warm out. We'll get enough ice chipped up, so it'll be good for later tonight.
Jim Weckman, who will head pit crew operations, reviews the support strategy with the team.
Tether with him so that let's try and keep to the schedule so that we don't have tethers missing, so when we're ready to go, each driver has got his tether with him. He can get right on the sled and go for it.
At 1:28 p.m., Carlin Elgin and Jack Taylor take the sleds to the track for practice laps. Each rider is granted 3 laps to test the machines and track conditions. The verdict comes in. The monster oval track is a tough challenge for a world record, and the hottest sled on snow is even quicker on ice. With the practice laps logged, the team makes a final examination of the sleds. In strict compliance with United States Snowmobile Association rules, each sled is a stock factory machine. The 2 modifications permitted are looped racing handlebars and carbide-tipped metal studs on the drive track for safe traction on the slick ice. The sleds check out to everyone's satisfaction. As race time nears, the riders don their armor for the coming night's work. At 3 p.m., February 1st, 1978, the sleds are brought to the starting line, and officials of the Snowmobile Association signal the start of the grueling marathon. The gauntlet is thrown. For the next 24 hours, the Invader team will attempt to cover more distance than any sled in history. Individual riding styles quickly surface as each driver struggles to unravel the slick iced oval of Scarborough Downs. A steady, consistent pace is established, and first leg drivers Ian Corbett and Bob Rauch knuckle down for an hour of cutting ice. Under the watchful eye of U.S. Snowmobile Association racing directors, volunteers in the observation booth keep records of lap times, pit stops, and miles covered.
It's going to be a 343.
That's right.
101, 102, 3, 4, 5,
Same thing
6.
again. 5.
Right on 105. 343.
Well, these are pretty consistent, I'll tell you that much, Bob.
Yeah.
They're averaging out well.
Yep.
As the afternoon wears on, the sleds easily maintain a record pace, while the temperature drops to near zero and keeps dropping. But for a few moments, drivers Dave Ricklock and Dave Corbett revel in the joy of hot sleds on cold ice under a flaming New England sky. In the early evening, the sleds begin to lose traction and speed.
Oil!
During a fuel stop, sled number 1 gets a quick examination by riders and crew. They discover the hard ice surface is dulling the edge of the carbide metal ski runners and ripping the carbide studs off the drive track. They face the unwelcome task of replacing the drive tracks at regular intervals, a time-consuming process that threatens to slash miles off the record attempt.
Oil's good.
What?
Studs.
So if you put carbide on, I think it'd be worse. If I'm over 65, pull me in, we'll put a track on it.
Okay.
You're on the
Really
outside?
With night comes a new hazard, poor visibility as the riders move in and out of glaring patches of artificial light and pools of darkness. The drivers find themselves flying blind as they round corner 1 and plunge into the treacherous backstretch. But they persist out of sheer stubbornness and desire, and the laps continue to roll by. Until finally, the drive track and ski changes must be made in order to gain that essential traction on the ice.
Oh, we gotta change the left ski, the carbide is broken. Down here. Springs off, Dave.
The sub-zero temperature adds another problem. The pneumatic tools freeze up, forcing the crew to waste precious time in fastening nuts and bolts with cold, numbed hands. 18 minutes after entering the pit, the sled winds into the night. But the time is well spent. With fresh studs, the sleds master the slick ice, and the drivers push through the night in a desperate attempt to make up the lost time. The team shovels snow onto the track throughout the night to gain an added measure of traction. In the blackest hours of the night, the temperature drops under 10 degrees below zero, boosting the wind chill factor on the drivers to 69 degrees below. With arms and legs chilled to the bone, their lap times get worse. Another major decision is made. Cut the driving time from 1 hour to 1/2 hour per driver. The word goes out. And Mike Vaughn comes out of the cold. In the last hour before dawn, Ron monitors speeds by radar and realizes that now the record attempt is in serious danger of failure. He knows the team must rally with the sunrise and push themselves and their machines past their known limits or see their hopes for a world record vanish. But the determination never falters and the laps continue to unroll. Dawn, and the final bid for the record begins. With defeat staring them in the face, each team member fights off fatigue and puts his heart and soul into the effort. The light of day reveals the toll Scarborough Downs has demanded. The standard rubber drive tracks are intact, but the added carbide-tipped studs have been chewed off by the hard surface of the icy oval. The crew attacks each new pit stop with increased frenzy, and they manage to cut track changes to a scant 8 minutes, a job that normally takes 1.5 hours.
Is it on?
Feeling good, tight. Yeah, it's on.
All right. Tie rods. Do the tie rods.
Good, tight.
Fine.
Put down.
Nope.
Nope.
In a last attempt to put a layer of snow on the ice, snow blowers are brought to the track and manned by the team. But in the end, it's the driver's ability and the sled's endurance that must capture the record. As the day wears on, the lap times improve dramatically. Top speeds hit 90 miles an hour and more. Driver Bob Ricklock turns in a lap time of 51.2 seconds, an average speed of 70.5 miles per hour, the fastest yet. The team is infused with fresh vitality, and an incredible dance of speed, skill, and daring ensues. Finally, at 2:12 p.m., the old record falls to the Invaders. With 48 minutes still to go in the 24-hour time span, the race becomes a cakewalk as the jubilant team puts the icing on a new world record. (3 p.m., February 2nd, 1978. 24 hours and 1,218 miles after it left the starting line, sled number 1 captures a checkered flag and a new world record for speed and endurance. Incredibly, sled number 2 is only 8 laps behind after 24 hours. The celebration is just starting, but one more task remains before the party gets serious. Sled number 1 is disassembled under the scrutiny of race officials to prove that it is indeed a stock factory machine. It is, and other than the tracks and ski runners, only 2 parts were replaced during the 24 hours, 1 ski bushing and 1 drive belt. Under the kind mothering of Cecil Baker, not one component of the engines failed. Not even a single spark plug. The Kawasaki Invaders proved in the end to be more than a match for 24 hours at Scarborough Downs.